So to log into Graylog, you can, in dev and staging, you can type your domain name /Graylog. For pre-prod and prod, they have an internal VPN URL, so you can connect with NOC team to get that internal VPN URL, because we are not exposing the pre-prod and production application logs to the public internet. So you'll have to be on VPN. And when you open this URL anywhere, all the 4 environments, you will be asked to choose one email account. So in dev and staging, most of the partners email IDs are whitelisted, like Taranto, Illumi, Qualtrics, Sanketika. All these domains are whitelisted, so you don't need to have a specific email address. But in case something is not working for you, you can always reach out to DevOps team and we can add your user ID. So here Taranto is whitelisted, so I can select Taranto and you will basically come into the Graylog page. And as soon as you come, this is your start page and you can see a bunch of logs here. Okay, so let's take some use cases and see how we can use this to search our logs. First thing is, whatever you do on this particular page is not going to get affected for another user. So I am not interested in this message count, this whatever bar you're seeing, because it comes in the way of me looking at the log. So you can just come and delete this here. So it will just go for you, but for others it will continue to be there. And when you come back to this page, it will, let's say you go to another page and come back, that is going to come back. So only for that particular moment it's gone. Fine, now we are not bothered about message count here. Let's take some example. Now some development team wants to search their specific logs. Okay, so there can be multiple scenarios where you know certain parts of the logs, or you know where the files are getting generated. In case, let's say you are running some application on a virtual machine, you know where the file is, your log file is getting stored. Or if you are running in a Kubernetes container, then you know some parts of your some parts of your logs which you can search. So let's take some example here. Now I want to search all the logs which says something like fail to connect. So this, I know I'm an application developer, so I know an exception comes something like this. It can be any exception which your application generates, and all these logs will be stored in a field called message. So if you want to just search for this, you can come here, type your query here called message. It will automatically pop up all the options. You can select that, and if you have multiple spaces and stuff in your text, you have to encode them in double quotes. And when you just fire this query, it's going to highlight all those messages which are going to have that particular string matching. So this is one way to search log.
Okay, one question. Is the search case sensitive?
No, it's not case sensitive.
Okay. How can I get a option to see how many hits were there?
That you can get it from the count. So we will come to that, all that. It's only 30 minutes, please. I'll show you all the getting the count for, especially for the NOC team, the support team. That part I will cover separately. Let me just finish up the development teams. So now you know this is how it is going to look. Some other way to search, interestingly or more intuitively, is, let's say you are running on Kubernetes, okay, and you want to see your Kubernetes logs. Let's say for now I want to see portal logs or content service logs, learner logs. So in all the Kubernetes deployments, right, they have a special field called which starts with Kubernetes. So you can come to the field section here to see all the available list of fields which you can use in a search query. So usually what we use is called something called labels app. Kubernetes labels app means every application is having a certain label. Now fine, I can use this for Kubernetes. Every Kubernetes you can use this, okay? For Flink also you can use this. Now okay, fine, but how will I know what is the actual label string? I have to search for player or content or learner. So that you don't know, and you don't have DevOps team to answer that. So you can just come here, select this field, and you can click show top values. Okay, so it is going to give you all the top values, means in the last 5 minutes. You can increase the time range here. Okay, it is going to give you all the labels here, which you can now, for example, learner, DevOps team has named it as learner. For CCOR, it is CCOR. For taxonomy service, these are the labels. So as a developer, you will know which pod you are interested in. So for portal, it is called player. Now, if you want to look for portal logs, then you can just come here for this label, and you don't have to type anything. you can come here and you can say add to query. Now this is automatically added. Now your job is done to now only view only the portal logs. Again this.
Is one interruption there. That click, is it right click or left click?
Left click, all are left click. So again this table is coming in a way of viewing my log, so I am just going to delete it because I found what I wanted. Okay, now these are all the player logs. Now this is not very intuitive, right? Because if there are exceptions, it is spanning across multiple lines. I am not very productive to see logs like this. So for this, we have created a simple dashboard. I'll show you how to create what is the dashboard, but before that I'll tell you how to actually do that. So now I don't want all this timestamp and split into multiple lines. So it's a very easy way if you want to see just plain application logs like how you see on your local development environment. So you come here, you remove, there are two things called timestamp and source. Basically these are like filters which are grouping them into columns. Okay. Now I'm not interested on this, so I'll right click on this and I'll say remove from table. Okay, but still it is there because this is broken by timestamps. Each line is broken by timestamps. So for a development team, this is no use because you are not able to do anything properly with this kind of logs. So you come and remove the timestamp field also for you. Now what you see here is just plain application logs. So how your app is writing line by line, the same stream is going to come without any breakage in the lines. You can still click on any of these lines. Each line is still considered as a row to get some additional information if there exists. So I can still click on this and it's going to expand me the data like from where, what time, from which pod, this specific, all those data, which is not very not much required for the development team. Maybe in production you may require, maybe one pod is giving exception and stuff like that. And you can just close this back. Now this is in the reverse order. Okay, so means the latest message will be the first line. So you want to make some API calls and you want to test it. Some live logs you want to watch. So here you come here and you give last 5 minutes. If 5 minutes range is too big for you, you can always come here and give it as absolute, which will give you absolute value. This is also not very convenient. So I am going to go to keyword. So you can basically type what you want here. I want last 30 seconds. So I am going to run this and this is going to give me the log which is only in the last 30 seconds. Now I want to have a rolling log. I am making some API call in my dev environment and I want to see how my API is responding or what is coming, what information is coming here. So for that you have this play button. So you can select how frequently you want to automatically refresh the logs. So if I select 2 seconds here, then this data is going to get refreshed automatically every 2 seconds as and when your application writes. So it's basically running the same search query again and again. So you can fire your API call. Definitely that log is going to come somewhere here. Just wait for it for a couple of seconds and then you can stop it. So that now that log is not gone beyond the 30-second window interval. So you can change this to 1 minute and stuff and you can look at that specific log. For example, here you are looking for something like Cassandra DB health true. You are actually seeing that. And you can change this interval also like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Usually 1 or 2 seconds is what is good. So this is the most useful way of looking at your application logs. Now this is coming in the reverse order and you are not comfortable to read this because whatever your application is generating as a first line is going to be here the first line and the second line will then when the new line comes, this is going to drop into the second line. So it's basically writing like Urdu. Okay. So I don't want this. I want to have a real proper view. So for that what we will do is we will again just expand one of these rows and you add back the timestamp field. So you add it back to table here. When you add it back to table, again you will get these logs in line by line fashion. And you see this arrow mark here, right? So this is sorting basically. So this is ascending timestamp. So you just click this and it will go to the reverse order. Okay. Now your last generated log will be on the top and your latest log will be at the bottom. Okay. Then you can again come back here and say remove from table. Now whatever your application exactly how it is writing on your terminal or wherever you want to see, that is how the log is going to look like here. It's line by line. The only disadvantage with this is, let's say you start with doing a rolling log. What happens is I mean this window, okay, I'll give a 50 seconds, okay, because there are no logs. So what happens is, if I give a rolling log here, this even though you have scrolled down to the latest one, it will always come back. This scroll bar is always going to come up again if you have more logs generated and stuff. But you can always say, give it 10 seconds so that you have only certain information available on that particular page which can fit in this window. But if it is not there, then yeah, you will have to actually basically stop this and then scroll back. Okay, so that is the only thing. So you have to scroll back. Now again, when I click search, my new log is already generated at the bottom, but this scroll bar is going to go up. So that is the only caveat, which should be fine for most of the teams to work with. But at least you have something like which you can directly see. So this is one. Okay. Now, so we covered how to see Kubernetes stuff. Okay, which is the label name. Okay. Now some people's services might be running on a VM. Okay. Now I don't know what is how to search for that log and stuff. So I will take one example. So if I know some part of the log file path, I can use regular expression here. So let me just go back to the regular search screen and let me just remove it. Yeah, we have already configured one sample dashboard for you. So you can come to this search page and you can click load here, and it will show you one dashboard called show logs without timestamp. So you just click it. This is one default query which we have set here. You can always change this to whatever query you want. If you don't want to go through that, remove that timestamp and source and all those things, clicking and stuff. But this will be always in reverse sorted order. Okay, so your latest log will be the first line. So, and if you want, you can create your own dashboards. So learner service wants to see some log, you can come, save it, give a name, whatever you want, and you don't have to type those queries again and again. If there are some frequently searched logs, you can always save it. It is available for all the teams. So somebody has created something here like this. So it's always available like that. So you can save like a shortcut. Now we are coming now some parts of the log file, actual log file in the virtual machine I know, but I don't know the complete path. So for that, what you can do, you can use some kind of wildcard pattern. So in case of keycloak, for example, the log file ends with a name called server.log. I don't know the initial starting path. Okay, so for that you can give something like log file path, and I don't know the starting path, so I am just going to give star server.log. Let's take 15 minutes. Yeah. So you see this, now it's going to match your file name here. So this is the actual path, opt keycloak standalone server.log. So now you can see keycloak logs. Now let's take some analytics service example. They have some nested folders, they have some job.log and stuff. And you don't know the exact name also, maybe it's generating in a date-wise stuff. So you just know there is something called analytics in the path. Okay. So that also you can easily do it. So I don't know what is there in the start. Okay. Then slashes you have to escape with backslash. Okay. I know there is a word called analytics somewhere in this log path, and then remaining I don't know what is there. So you have to use this log file path is basically the on the machine what is the path. So this is the left hand side key field. Okay. Now if I search for this, it's going to be like this. So you will have all these options. Okay. So if you are looking for some particular like this joblog.log, so you see this is the path, and I don't have to type the entire part. So then once you drill down here, maybe you'll be able to figure out how to actually get this log and stuff. So this is a regular expression way of fetching some logs. Okay. And now for some teams, I don't know if for log team and stuff, they want to get a list like count of 500 error messages or all the messages which contain error codes 500 server internal server error to 504 bad gateway. How many messages I got in the last 1 hour? Okay. So for that we are breaking down the Kong and Nginx logs. So it is called n_response code, RS code. Okay. And you can use any kind of arithmetic expression operator if you see it is of the type long and float. You cannot do it on string. So my response code should be greater than equal to 500, and my n underscore response code should be less than or equal to 504. So if I give this here, if you see in our staging environment, we have 4 queries which are falling in the 500 category. In production, this may be more, and you want to get a count of this, okay? Or anybody, if they want some kind of widgeting and stuff, even the development teams, if they want to become crazy, you can have widgets and stuff here. So you can always come here and click create, and you want to do some kind of aggregation. So it's going to give you an empty bar like this. You can always click edit, and then what type of visualization you want. Maybe I want something like pie chart, okay? And what I'm searching for some count of what? Count of maybe message, or let's say client IP. So some client IP. So here you see this is coming as client IP. This is not very useful. The pie chart is not very useful for this particular example. We can use data table. So how many calls have been done by this public IP? So you can have, and you can add multiple things here for additional columns. Like now you have something like GeoCity name, from which city it is coming. So this IP originated in Lucknow, and there are 4 counts, and you can just save it, and you can add a bigger time range, and it's going to give you all this data from Bangalore, from this IP, how much and stuff. So this is one sample I'm doing, but basically in this data, in this table, you can search and replace with whatever. You can use whatever operations which are there here, and then you can use whatever type of visualization you need, and then you can be creative if you want to do some sort of those things, and then you can always save those as a quick way to look for those logs. So, and now let's say some development teams might be working on multiple environments, like they are working on Vidyadan development also, and they are also working on the regular Sunbird development also. Now in both the places we have something like content service, or there are same type of link jobs, names and stuff which are running on across both the environments. So I need to know a way to find out only the Vidyadan logs. I am not interested in staging logs. So that is also very simple. So you just I don't want all this, so I am just going to delete all this. Now for specifically to Flink, we have a stream called Flink. So you can always select this, and it will show you only the Flink logs. Okay. Now once you are into the Flink logs, now you don't. This is all running in Kubernetes, and in Kubernetes there is a concept called namespace. Okay. So what DevOps team does is, for every environment there will be some unique namespace. So you can always come here, and there is a label called, there is a field called Kubernetes namespace. Okay. So you select this, and you again select show top values, because you don't know what this is the namespace which the DevOps team has given. So now you see here you have Flink KP staging and Flink KP doc. So essentially Flink KP doc means it is from the doc environment, from the Sunbird Vidyadan environment. So you can select this namespace. So you can just select this and add to query. So this is coming from Vidyadan. Now we will delete this. Now whatever logs you see here is only of Vidyadan. Okay, and then again you want a certain pod, let's say, or certain job manager or task manager you want to query about. So you don't know again what is the exact name which is there, and you should not use something like this, because every restart will change this ID. So we will use something generic. I'm just searching for it. Yeah. So this is you cannot use labels app for Flink. You have to use something called labels component. Okay, because this is unique per type of task manager or per type of job manager. So all post publishers will have task managers here, and the other option will be for the same type of job will be job manager. Again, I don't know the name, so again you can come here and you click show top values, and it's going to give you all your Flink pods, job manager, task manager, all these data is going to come. You can increase, if you don't see something here, means that log is not present. So you can increase the time range in case you don't see here. So it's going to come. Now I want to search for this collection certificate logs of the job manager or task manager. You can select, and again add to query, and it will automatically add that. And now you see only the logs of this from the staging Vidyadan and task manager. Again, this is not very useful, so you can save this query. Okay, you can copy this query and then you just click load and you select this, the default dashboard what we have set, and you just come and replace your query here instead of going through removing and stuff. And this is your live logs for that particular pod. So usually in Flink what happens is some job manager, if it gets killed, right, it will not get restarted automatically. So if you are looking for some job manager and let's say that is not available, then you have to go for a bigger time range. Okay, whenever the pod was last restarted, we don't know when it got killed because it did a multiple restarts and it just got crashed and it never came back. So if that is the case, then you have to give a bigger time range, because you will get the logs only when that particular job got killed. So I don't know the exact name here. Again, we'll have to go through that entire thing to search for the name, but you got the idea. So if this job has stopped 8 hours back, then if you are searching for last 30 minutes log, why did my job stop? Usually in the staging and stuff, you guys are seeing that search injection job is stopped or other Flink pods is crashed and it's not working. So why it stopped? To get that exception, you use this query and then go for a longer time range which will have that particular data, and then you will be able to see exactly why that job got killed and it never came back again. So this is the easiest way to and as you know, every application developer will have his own logs which is looking for. So now let's say Vidyadan also has content service, staging also has content service. Okay, now I want to see similar concept, but I'm just going to show something else. Now I want to see only Vidyadan content service. Then again come here and select let's say I will here, I already know that, so Kubernetes namespace, right? So it's actually not, I just need to find one log which has that, yeah, Kubernetes namespace. So I'll give show top values, and here you see, right, so doc staging is Vidyadan staging and normal staging is the regular Sunbird staging. So content service is there on both the places, so you can select whichever you want if you are searching for content service logs of Vidyadan staging. And after this you can add additional queries like and Kubernetes labels are equal to content. Now you will get this, and here if you are searching for some other thing, this is specific to application. If you know there is something called error message which is going to some string which you can search, and you show me all the errors, something like this. This I don't know how this application is generating the logs, so there is nothing called error here, but at least I see that in learner services. So if you have some string in your exact application log, you can add that additional filters to get those highlighted queries. Instead of seeing every single line of log, you can drill down by adding more and more and expressions. And let's say now I don't want to write like this. If you want to do, you can do a negation also. So you can just say and not, means don't show me any logs which contain the info keyword. So it will show you all the logs which only have the lines which doesn't have the info keyword. So now here you get all the error messages which you can drill down whatever you want to look for. You can look at those. And if you want to know, there are more other types of searching capabilities possible. If you want to know, always you can just click on this bulb icon and it is going to take you to this Graylog search page, which is basically an elastic search query, and you can select the search query language and you can see all the types of available, like regular expression and or match, some particular parts of the string, like this is something like you can replace one character and stuff. So you can come to this page to see what are the other options you have. So this is the simplest way to search logs in Graylog. All that you need to know is how to see the logs without timestamp, how to find your particular query. That is the most important part, or else you will not be able to get any data out of this. So I showed you already how to get the query. If you want to get count and all, I already showed you. You can just create an aggregation table and you select you select the count query here. Count of what? Let's say count of 500 requests. So rs underscore m underscore rs code. So so you will get all this count. How many 200 requests were successful? How many 201, 404 and stuff like that. You can be more creative and add additional queries. So here, and you can create whatever dashboards you like. So feel free to explore this. If you have any other kind of suggestion, or like if you have any other queries, just let me know, or me or DevOps team, somebody can help you. But if you have some frequently searched queries, you can always save it and then reuse it whenever you need. And this is the live logs, which is the most important for application development, to see real logs on the fly without timestamp.
Okay, quick question.
Yeah.
What all logs are not available here?
All the logs are available. So you want to see Cassandra logs? It is very simple. You just give log file path, and I know Cassandra logs end with something like system.log. Sorry. And I know I don't care about the path, so I'll just give a star, and I know the Cassandra logs are coming with system logs, system.log. So every VM's log is going to get logged in Graylog, except the yarn machines. So only the yarn jobs logs are not available on Graylog, because that was decided like that. Because it's going to come to Flink. But other than that, every service logs is there. And if you want to know some of the what all services are there, you can always come to this DevOps repo here, and then there is something called file beats. I'll send the link later for you guys. So these are the available logs. So this is the exact path if you want to see. So Cassandra logs has two types logs here, and there is a GC log, Elasticsearch logs, Kafka machine logs, peak log, learning. These are all the virtual machine VM logs. So logstash, Neo4j, Redis, all these machines logs are there, including the syslogs, auth log of the machine. Syslogs also we are adding. But for few,
log is available, the entire and the log is available here.
Yeah, whatever log except the yarn machine, everything is available here. In production, I don't know, because production I don't know. Production has multiple machines of similar types and similar configuration for specific workload. There you have to check with NOC team if they have set up file beats in those machines. But from Sunbird side, whatever architecture or machines we cover, those are already there. The log system logs are already there.
Okay, do you know in production what is the retention period?
Production has 7 days retention period. I think it's changed to now 10 days. But dev and staging has 2 days retention period. So you can see logs of up to 2 days.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's
so,
it.
quick question.
Yeah.
If we have multiple customer cluster, can we demonstrate that?
So if you have multiple Cassandra cluster, then your Cassandra machine names will be different, I believe. Or are the machine names are also same?
It will be different.
Yeah. So then you can use this hostname filter. So hostname, something like in the search query, right? You saw there was a search pattern from this to this. So you can say hostname in Cassandra 012, Cassandra like 02 and stuff like that, comma separated value or something. Some intelligent way to add all the host names, or you can simply select like this and then copy paste this value to say if you have multiple ones like this. So this will give you specific. But if you have same machines in Azure, then actually we are not logging the IP address here, so you will not be able to find out from which Cassandra machine it has come.